your dilution to the conditions. If you're in West Texas and you've got about a 30-year-old caliche road that's been rained on and driven on and rigs have been on, and just so on down the line for 30 years, I'm going to tell you, you got a absolute hard pack road. Okay? Is it going to dust? You bet. You bet. Because the top is always going to continue to get wet. Okay? Even an asphalt or a concrete road, they're always wearing out. It's the reason they put overlays on them. Okay? But those roads, a 4-to-1 dilute, there's a very good chance that it's not even going to do anything but just stand on the top. Okay? You're not going to get any penetration. We're going to talk about scarifying in a little while. And you're looking at the one guy that absolutely hates that word. Okay? Pennzoil went through a lot of trouble, and the current owners of Pennz have bought a product, and we're marketing a product that has the best surfactant dispersant package in the world. Nobody can do what we can do. And I know this because I've been all over this country. And I've seen every condition this product will work. And dilution is the solution. It used to be an old saying of ours. And basically what that means is we'll take that old hardpack road in West Texas, and you might dilute to a 6-to-1, 7, maybe even 10-to-1. Okay? And what you're doing is you're activating, what you want to do is you want to activate that dispersant package. The dispersant package is one of the things the product's all about. The resin is number one, because we have a patented resin and a patented process to do it. Okay? But the bottom line is, it can't do the job unless it gets in that road. Okay? You break the road up too quick and too deep, where is that product going to go? It's going to follow that water. So if you scarified a road 2, 3, 4 inches deep, which I've seen, actually I saw one place that did it 12 inches deep, and then they put Pennz on there and they wondered where their product was.
They didn't do any compaction after that?
No, we'll talk about scarification and compaction.
But no compaction after scarification on that?
On that particular road there was. Okay? That particular road was a coal mine. And they were running 260-ton trucks. Okay? So when you just loosened 12 inches of material, and it was on a curve too, and you're going to take and try to suppress the dust, the topical application, and you just ripped it up 12 inches, what do you think the chances of that working? Okay? 0. 0. But the engineers at that particular mine called me, and exactly as it was starting to happen, and they said, we think we have a problem. And I said, describe it. Describe it. I knew exactly what it was, but they'd already figured it out. No. They said, we shouldn't have scarified. No, you had a road that doesn't need scarified at all. So the other 7 miles of that road, which incidentally are still on Pennz after 12 years, it's hanging together very, very well. Looks like you wouldn't know it from an asphalt road. It's been carrying those 260-ton trucks for 12 years. Okay. So we started talking about scarifying. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's just say you have a road, you've got a lot of potholes in it, okay? You just chuck holes here, there, pothole, and it's washboarding, everything. Do you need to scarify? Probably. Probably the first thing you need to do is put a blade on it, straighten the doggone thing out, lay it back down. On a road like that, I would probably say just a regular grader would do the job. If you're looking at a road that's too old and you've got to scarify, then you go ahead and just get the blades that have the picks on them, and a lot of them are carbon steel and what have you, and then break it up that way. Then you move everything back and forth to try to get her square. Okay, fill in the potholes. A lot of times we'll ask customers bring in material. And a lot of times they look at me and they say, Rick, we don't want to bring in material. That's fine. You need to put a blade on it. No. What do you want me to do? Because what we're going to do, we're going to seal the road. If they don't want to dress it up, we're going to seal it like it is. Okay? So if they've got a chuck hole over here, a pothole over here, we're going to seal it. That pothole is going to stay there. Okay? Because search your face. I have a lot of customers who say, yeah, we don't want to put a blade on it. We're not too worried about that. Just do it. You know, just do it. And we do.
And you always know where the pothole is because you didn't go below it.
But it's pretty easy to fix if they've got a blade. A lot of times they don't have access to a blade. But out there in most of these places, they do have access to farm tractors. And a lot of them have front end loaders, and I think most of you know how to take a front end loader, lift her up, drop her down, and drag her. You can do the same thing there. You can also take on a looser road and come in and actually take a tiller. Okay? And you can pick the road with a tiller. And they do the same thing. And if they don't have a compactor, you can come back with truck traffic or even regular traffic and just smooth her out that way, compact it that way. You don't have to have a compactor. But at the end of the day, whatever conditions you do out in the field, at the end of the day, you want it as perfect as it possibly can.
And Rick, just not to interrupt you, but just a thought. The key is if you scarify and sort of tear the road up, put it back together and compact it, and then put Pennz suppress down. Don't put Pennz suppress down on the torn up road, right?
Did you spin that around?
Yeah.
Come on down here. Because Chuck's got an excellent example. And I want to thank my friends from River City Park. They did this. Okay, what we did here is we Pennz suppressed this road. First thing we did is clean it up, break it off, do the whole thing. Okay, compacted it right on down here. Now, which side of this road do you think was scarified? Okay. If you don't have if you're not going to be able to compact and you scarify it, that's what you're going to give your customer. But if you have a good compacted road in advance and you want to take and just dress it up for them, you can have it. Okay. But I don't know. I think this looks better than that, and I won't have this happen. All the loose rock you leave on a road becomes abrasive, and it's just I don't care what product you're using. It doesn't matter. You can put asphalt down. If you're going to have loose rock on top of that asphalt, every time a guy runs over it, brakes, speeds up, does a wheelie, Porsche puts a four-wheeler on it for you, it's going to tear up. It's going to tear up. So when you do it, if you decide you want to scarify, just be sure, somebody said a little while ago, that you are going to be able to compact it in place. Because if you can't, you're going to have the mess. You're going to have the mess.
And if you put the Pennz suppress in and then compact it, you're going to have a lot of Pennz suppress 6 or 12 inches deep, which is a nice base, but you need to put 3-4 times as much on it that way, and then you're going to wind up with this, which is almost like a concrete road, but that's a different stabilization application.
We're gonna do something today because you've all asked about stabilization. We're gonna do what I call a mini stabilization. We're gonna hand do a stabilized area. But when y'all get a chance here after a while, step on that. That is month old. It is solid, that deep, and there is only a 1/4 gallon a square yard. There's a trick to doing it, and we'll go over it. But there's a book on doing it that Pennzoil came up with 15 years ago. All products are not the same. To say that we work like a chloride product of some sort would be absolutely wrong. You would take and do their product totally different with what our number one a chloride product will not stabilize. Because the first time rain hit it, it's going to start breaking up anyway. It's just going to re-emulsify. But there are other products out there that talk about the way that they do their product, okay? And I'll criticize them on this. Most of them are using something they call lifts now, okay? And they're doing it in 2-inch lifts. Well, that's fine for their product. Pennz was designed on a 4-inch stabilization between a 0.25 and a 0.35 on 4 inches of material. If that material is a good number 2 base or equivalent, this right here, it's going to do that every time, as long as you got sunshine. Okay, but it'll do it every time. How would that be over and above the 2-inch lifts? You only have to use the equipment once. Okay, you don't have to do 2 full layers. You do it one time. Okay, so if we had one of the distributors here. He's got one that's going to be an 8 foot or 8 inches worth of stuff. We can do it on a 2-inch. Do I think it would work? Yes. Would I guarantee it? Okay, because I don't know. But I know that that'll work every time. Okay. So I would probably try to do 2 4-inch lifts in this case. Okay. If you have to go that deep. We have a project that is that deep. And the road is 10 years old now, and it's U.S. Border Patrol between Tijuana and San Diego, California. Since the last time we did it, they've come in and they've run different toppers on top of it. Okay, but it's 8 inches deep. It is 8 inches of Pennz. And what we did was exactly the same formula that we're talking about here. For the 8 inches, we didn't use a 0.25, we used a half a gallon. We put the half a gallon in a square yard, we tilled it, the garden tractor, we bladed it, we ran a distributor truck right along with the tiller. So right behind the tiller as it's taking the road, and they had 8 inches of base, okay? As he was tilling, we would inject the Pennz at a 4-to-1 dilute, again, just right into what was being tilled up. They'd run like this. We'd take maybe from here to the lake. The blades would get on it, they'd move it back and forth. We'd come back and do the next application. We were able to get all the product in on about 3 passes to get the total half gallon.
And that's for 8 inches.
Huh?
8 inches. 3 passes.
8 inches. And just to give you an idea on that, that particular road had to meet, and you would know more about this than I would, Bruce. There's a CBR for asphalt roads. It has to be, the base has to hit. And we hit that base CBR in 1 day. Just let it set overnight. The next day, it took exactly what they were looking for. And like I said, it's lasted 10 years. They pulled it up and freshened it up with Pennz about 4 years ago, and all we added was about a 0.20. And the reason they added it up is they went from pickup trucks and decided they wanted Humvees. So you let the Border Patrol guys go after illegals in a Humvee on a road that'll do 80 miles an hour. It won't hold together. So they had Ravelin on top, and that's the reason we did it and redid it. And up until this last year, all they've done is just take Pennz as a wear surface on top.
Like a maintenance treatment on it?
Yeah. Actually, what we did is just reestablished the wear surface.
And you said they can dig it up? They can blade it up?
Well, let me tell you what happened.
Reuse it?
They ended up having, it was so hard that they ended up having to, on the second application, the second time they pulled it up, they actually had to break it up to get it, okay? Then once we got it into a till, actually in the second one we used like a bow mag, and we milled it in. So it was even better the second time around, and it didn't take hardly any product at all.
Did you notice a difference in the temperature when it was morning? Of course, it's probably hot 24 hours a day.